Hi, I understand all of us want to make it out of tech and we really want to get out there and be noticed and have our products working and impacting people, but maybe we don't know how to navigate our career paths in tech. In this episode, I have someone who actually wears very many hats. Someone has interacted with several sectors in the tech industry and he has actually made it out there. He has been CEO of the year, he has done a lot of things, and you're going to get to hear from him. He's going to be sharing with us his journey so that each one of us can at least get inspired and maybe be like him or even better than him. Welcome to the show, Innocent.
Thank you, Sumaya. Pleasure being here. I'm very honored and privileged to be hosted by one that I got to know recently. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to a very amazing conversation.
Yeah, so Innocent, yeah. I know you, but the people out here don't know you. Can you briefly tell us about yourself?
Well, my name is Innocent Kawooya. I prefer to refer to myself as made of God, for many reasons. So no matter what someone calls God, Allah, Jah, Jehovah, whatever you call God, I'm made of that one that you believe in. But I'm a financial inclusion, fintech, I'm a specialist, I'm a film producer, I am a computer programmer, I am a humanitarian, I am a father of many children, like 6 now. I am passionate about building everything that we can using technology, and I am a leader any day, any time of my life. I mean, there's so many things I'll do, but one of the things that I do in everything I do is leadership. Yeah,
that's a very big profile. Yeah. You didn't mention that you were the CEO of the year.
Well, that is going to happen for so many years.
No, okay.
Yeah. Of course, just recently, High People was awarded Best Financial Inclusion Organization in East Africa for the 2nd time in a row. I mean, I will mention I'm CEO of the year, and then we're CEO of the year for many other places. I mean, I'm also co-chair of the Mojaloop Community Council. I'm the one who has been voted twice in 3 years. So we can talk about that until the end of the day. Yeah.
All right. Now, as someone who has been involved in very many things that rotate around technology, how did you start out in tech? How did your journey start?
Well, I started by wanting and admiring to be a pilot. I loved the dashboard that I saw, and I imagined the beauty of flying. I'm not sure if I liked birds a lot, but I like to see airplanes up in the sky. So sometime around 1990, I think 3 or 4, when the genocide was happening in Rwanda, for many days we watched choppers just so close to our house in Masaka. And we were told they were delivering support to many people that were being injured and suffering in the war. So I thought I would be a part of those people who could be pilots and deliver help. So I grew passion for being a pilot. Later in time, I was privileged to be in a school, Molly and Po, that among so many schools had computers that were using Linux. I don't know whether you know Linux very well, but I was in that school, and unlike many other people, for us we had access to computers. Then my father, Mr. Carle, bought a computer. First he bought a monitor and a keyboard without a CPU. Yeah, the central processing wasn't part of it. So for many times he had it in their wardrobe, and I could go there, sneak in to touch it and switch it on. But the experience of having the computer lights and the keyboard lighting up was beautiful for me, and I never imagined anytime ask me how was the keyboard even lighting. I don't even know how it was connected. But it actually had an entire full processing system, but I could always go turn it on when it's not around, and I wanted to see what else was happening in the computer. So for me, first of all, it became default that I would love to deal with the computer. Before we knew, when we were in Chibuya at Molly and Po, it became very easy for us to ask Uncle Paul, who was the founder of the school, to give us a few minutes on the computer, or especially the secretary's computer, and then we type some things. So we started by typing our names all the time. It was beautiful to have your name on a computer those days, yeah? Then it was more beautiful when you could find a tool like PowerPoint to design and put some amazing look on your name. you feel like you've made it. Yeah, that's where we start from. Yeah. I'll tell you something more as we move forward. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now, being recognized not only as the CEO of the year, but as someone who has spearheaded a lot of things that are actually successful out there, how does that make you feel?
Well, for starters, I get recognized, but first of all, I give glory to God for the recognitions we've had. But secondly, that can never happen without a brilliant and very great supportive team of the folks we have at High People. I mean, we could never make it anywhere without, first of all, having a great team of people. I mean, like you're watching right now, like you've seen with the hackathon that we've been having, it's never me alone doing this work. It's a whole lot of people that are dedicated to offering their time and their skills to making sure they contribute to making this place better. But also importantly, we've also been blessed with very great partners that are supportive and would want to share our vision and dream of making sure we create an inclusive economy and world that benefits everyone. So for purposes of how I feel so honored and very privileged to be in a space of service in the private sector, where we do so many things, like you had Honorable Joyce Nambos was saying. She believes that what we're doing would so many times be done by government, but government doesn't do it. And she calls upon government all the time to come and support us in any way it can. Why? Because for us, we are believers of being contributors to creating opportunities just like government does. There is not any day, there is nowhere in the world that governments, not even in America, not in the UK, the government will create opportunities, especially jobs for everyone. It will never happen. Yeah.
So I understand that finance and inclusion are really vital in the society today. How do you see technology trying to push these things so that everyone can actually get part of them?
Well, finance and inclusion, there is a side of digital inclusion, there is a side of financial inclusion. And for starters, for everyone that is watching Takeover with Maya, I will tell you that there's not going to be a single day of us achieving financial inclusion without getting people digitally included. So you've seen over the last 15 years, the growth in adoption and usage of technology, especially mobile phones, and the innovation of mobile financial services like mobile money has, with so many, for so many reasons, accelerated as a result of having phones and people using them. Well, for many years in Uganda, we had not more than 3 million people having bank accounts in traditional banks. Today, we count a minimum of 23 transaction accounts, whether on mobile money, whether in a mobile banking account, that are existent within Uganda at the same time. And this is only growing. We have seen innovations like Kawooya coming in space and creating financial cards for children in school. So now even children in school have financially included, even when they don't have a phone. And technology is going to go a long way in making sure that wherever we needed to have a bank branch established or a mobile van for a bank, have you ever seen one? A mobile banking van? Okay, so back in the days, we supported the innovation and creation of mobile banking vans, and these could take tellers and be safe and all that to a village. So people get paid. Maybe they withdraw money, maybe they receive their salaries and all that kind of stuff. And that was happening, but it was not scalable because it can only go to one place at a time. See what has happened with mobile financial services. See what we have seen with agent banking. An agent is as good as a bank for taking deposits, for withdrawing some money, yeah? And they are doing it for mobile banking, they're doing it for mobile money. And that helps everyone. If I had to pay someone, if I had to buy honey from Gulu, and I want to buy it in bulk, I want to buy 10 kgs, and I know someone who has a WhatsApp and they sell it, I'll order. I'll pay them from wherever I am. They put it on a bus and I'll have it tomorrow without them having to ever move to Kampala, but they will have made their sale. I'll have gotten the quality of honey that I want. It can never happen without this kind of inclusion. It can never happen without existence of innovative mobile and digital financial solutions.
All right, that's really interesting. You just mentioned that you are a CEO, you're a programmer, you're a producer, and a lot more that you do. How do you manage to balance these two and you actually become the best amongst them?
Well, first of all, we anticipate myself and we desire to be the best in everything we put our hands on. So part of the things we have to make as citizens of this global village is we make choices. Being the best and making the best out of anything or the most out of anything starts by you making a choice. You have to choose to win. If you have to win, you have to choose to be the best. If you want to be the best in a class and it takes reading and paying attention, you have to choose to pay attention so that you can learn whatever is being taught, so that in the end you can be able to achieve the goals of being the best student. And that is how life happens anywhere else. For whatever we want to do, for whatever space we want to be in. I personally love doing new things. I love learning new skills. I'm sure you've seen myself as we've been doing the Women in FinTech Hackathon. Yeah. Sometimes being on set, on camera, because I know how to operate a camera very well and I've done it so many times. So I might not be the very best at it, but whenever I find an opportunity to try and do something or offer something as a service, I am able to do it. And it will apply in so many other places. Well, the other bit is the time. What are you using your time for? Are you using your time to watch people that have been paid to be watched? It is not bad to watch films. We create films and we want our films to be watched. But as you're watching for 1 hour a film that is broadcasting people that have been paid to be watched, what are you doing to be watched as well? What are you doing for yourself to keep in your brain and say, I know this, I can provide this kind of skill? So extensively, we are supposed to work in a shared kind of environment in terms of creating our own opportunities. I should be able to deliver a service for this, but I should create time for myself to learn something more. I should be able to make this happen this side, but I should also make sure that on this other side of myself, I get something more. It has nothing to do with having cash today. It has nothing to say with how much am I earning directly today, but it has a lot to do with making sure that those strides we make in the end pay to either giving us more skills or knowledge or returning some revenue at the end of the day. So in the end, you'll find Innocent being a film producer because I love creating. You'll find Innocent being a humanitarian because humanly we all supposed to have a human kind of component that helps us serve every other person. You'll find Innocent being a programmer because that's how I got into the computer. That's how I made it to this point today. I mean, I started by coding. But ask me how the people I started coding with were seniors to me. They were graduates in Makerere. And all they knew is doing everything that I didn't know. And what I could do is stand behind them wherever they're on a computer. Whatever they are doing, I cram 1%, I come and do the 1% 100 times. So before they know, I know my 1% 100 times. They know their 100%, maybe 50 times. And that is supposed to happen to all of us. I mean, we've been told by so many people, especially in the Western world, that you're supposed to specialize and all kind of stuff. I don't believe in specialization. Why? Human beings cannot be having one purpose. So Sumaya is doing a takeover with Sumaya, right? And she's a student. And she has other things she can do. And she can even decide to say that as part of takeover with Sumaya, she's going to be selling merchandise on her show. Is that supposed to be a crime? No. The challenge is our parents and us parents become a problem for our children when they're in their young stages. You tell them you're supposed to study and be an engineer. Oh, that is BS. Like you tell them you are going to be this kind of person. I want you to be a doctor. What if the person you want to be a doctor doesn't even have any single gene for being a doctor? I remember in high school, a friend of mine, I will not mention his name, he joined school when he was 4 classes ahead of us. We completed senior 6 before he completed, and then we left him there for 3 other years because his parents wanted him to be a doctor. Until one day when I met him when I was teaching in Makerere, and he was still struggling to find something he can do. And I told him, gentleman, what are you working on? I have to go back to school and repeat senior 6. And I'm like, well, I wish I could see your parents and abuse them. They're very disrespectful. I mean, they don't even respect your time and your life. So I told him, go tell your parents, there are a few short courses in Makerere. You can do some of them and then create your own value out of them. And then that changed his life forever. When he started doing them, I'm sure now he has even become the doctor they wanted him to become. But those choices we make, I mean, for whatever we want to do, for wherever we want to go, we should ensure that at the end of the day, we try as much to do whatever we can. You live once, yeah? And that time that you live, use it to make something for yourself. Rather than staying home that you are in holiday and do nothing as a campus student, as someone who graduated recently, ask people to offer a free service so you learn. When you learn that, whether you get a job in another field, you have that skill and knowledge. Does it hurt having it?
No, it doesn't.
I've never seen anyone having a heavy brain that they can't carry. Like, have you seen one?
No.
Like, I hope maybe, I've seen any, I don't know whether there's someone who even has a head they can't carry. So because it is stored within our brain, which is stored in our head, can we try to learn as much as we can and do the most we can any day, any time?
Yeah, that's true. Let's all try to learn and relearn every single day. So you mentioned that you're associated with Mojaloop. I understand it's an open source software. How do you see open source driving innovation in the country lately?
Open source software has been for so many times used by people who don't want to accept that they use it. You've used Apache. So you know MySQL.
Yeah.
So MySQL is open source, yeah? Have you ever paid for it?
No.
Okay. I don't know whether anyone who is tech savvy and has done programming, if they've ever paid for MySQL. But I'm just mentioning a few of those. I mean, we have so many tools that have come free of charge for us to use. Have you used VLC?
Yeah.
Have you ever paid for it?
No.
Have you ever paid for Internet Download Manager? Okay. So open source, I'll not even explain so much, I'll tell you. From a Mojaloop point of view, Mojaloop is a blueprint of the Level 1 project, and it was tailor-made to help in creating instantaneous and interoperable payment systems. These can be national payment systems and switches, they can be payment hubs and the likes, but it helps in easing the job of innovators like Sumaya, like myself, and any other out there that would want to create interoperable and world standard financial products. Especially for payments, of course, and even the other things that can happen. Why? Because the blueprint has come with every bit of code you need. It has come with every bit of documentation that you need. I mean, there's not been so much as open source for financial services anywhere in the world for many years. But see, the Gates Foundation supported and established in the Level 1 project. The Level 1 project helped in making sure that Mojaloop is founded. And it was instated, and now it runs as an open source and charitable foundation. And the community is available to support people. I mean, we have supported so many people acquire skills that they use in developing financial solutions that don't necessarily use Mojaloop, but they have ways of adapting to the code, leveraging part of it, and making sure it is used to developing a standard ISO relating ISO 222. Relating and qualifying standards, and they will be upgraded any other time as we advance innovation and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Mojaloop is really interesting. So as a tech leader, what are those emerging technologies that actually excite you? Well,
the world of today, where the young ones like Sumaya have smartphones with all of them, excitement starts from the time when I remember I was teaching in Makere and the phone was a personal digital assistant. Now, Sumaya uses her phone to record her show. Yeah, and it is growing and it's going viral. You use the phone to create content, create questions that you'll ask the people that will be a part of the interview. Get organized. You have your timer, your watch, and everything, your clock on the phone. You have your calendar, you have a radio, you have a TV, you can watch High People TV and NGTV, you can watch Takeover with Sumaya with your phone, yeah? So what is more exciting than having a mobile phone that has all the things in one place? That's the first thing, if you ask me technology. But if you also ask me further, I'll tell you we are now growing in ways of managing big data. So tools like AI, yeah, and machine learning, yeah, augmented reality are really amazing. I will, for instance, urge anybody that is out there and they're watching to just make sure when they're watching Takeover with Sumaya, they mark those keywords and extensively read about them, not their definition, but whatever there is that is available about each of those words. Yeah.
All right. Now, in this fast-paced world of technology, tech changes every single day. How do you keep up with the trends?
Well, for me, my phone is my first office, for starters. Then my computer that I call made of God, and I don't like people playing with it, is an important office for me, yeah. And then I learned the hard way that whether we want to adapt to technology or not, technology was going to take over. Why? There's so many things that have been proved and made easier because technology exists. I mean, technology doesn't only serve people for making calls and communicating. Technology is used in telemedicine. You've seen solutions like My Doctor. People can stay at home and call in and talk to a physician and they get assessed. Women can call in and have their antenatal risk cut down by 50%. Instead of them visiting 8 times for beginners, they visit for 4 and the 4 are done virtually. I mean, people can have conferences on the internet. Today, we have platforms like Takeover with Shemaya. I mean, we have an entire, I would call it a TV. Now I'll tell you, Shemaya, when you were 3 years, and High People was starting, I'm sure you were 3 years, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you were 3 years, 19 years ago, we walked to every TV and we wanted to create partnerships, to create content, and they all said no to us because they said we were doing a lot of BS, yeah? They didn't believe that people like us had capacity to do things that can transform life, not just ours, but for millions of people. See what technology did. It democratized everything. Now, the TVs can no longer break news. They only confirm news. Yeah, as long as you are supposed to go through the cycle that they go through. The radios, the newspapers are only official platforms for confirming, for giving us the detail that we shall go with for a longer time, because they still have the trust and confidence of so many users. But that trust and confidence of theirs is not in the X generation. It is not in people your age and below. It is in our generation and above. And what does that mean? It means that if you don't want to adapt to the fast-growing trends that are technology-driven, you're going to be left behind. Whether you like it or not, people are going to use TikTok. Whether you think it makes sense or not, people are going to be tweeting. Whether you think they should ask for permission from you, people are going to run shows online. They're going to share videos that will become viral, and you have no control over that, no matter how many policies you're going to put. Of course, we keep telling innovators and users of technology to be responsible. Yeah. I mean, why would someone see people having an accident and being crushed and you're recording dead bodies? I mean, where did you grow up from to have that kind of content? Are you a night dancer? What kind of human being are you to do that? I mean, that is going to happen. But we are urging very much, and we are advocating for responsive and responsible usage of these tools and technology. But the truth is that technology is going to go very far in changing everything we do. Maybe minus bathing and eating, yeah?
All right. Yeah. I understand that diversity and inclusion are very vital in every single environment. Yeah. How have you fostered diversity and inclusion in all the organizations, in all the startups and everything that you're involved in?
Well, diversity is not only necessary, it is the only way we get things going faster. Suma, you have a different interpretation of everything you see, even where we are seated. You'd see me looking like a gorilla and you can't tell me that I'm you get, because you have a different lens.
Yeah.
You'd see Director Knowlton there looking like a monkey because I'm his best man and he's my best man. So you'd think, and then you might not tell us that he's actually looking like a monkey. So you'll be seeing wild animals here as a woman. But then, and not in a bad way, but because that is your perspective. Because the things you're doing were undoable for anyone, and for a Muslim like you. I mean, you are prohibited from doing this. Someone said, why are you having that show? Why are you doing ABCD? Oh, aren't you doing it as a Muslim? And isn't it making sense to you?
It is.
So, in the end, that is going to happen naturally to everything. In the end, we are going to try and do things and include people. Why? Because we are going to show them how to try. So to make sure we achieve diversity, we are saying, let us give everyone an opportunity, a level opportunity. You've had me all through the days of hackathon say, oh, me, I'm dealing with the women. No, but you see me talking to the guys all the time. But in the open world, I want to make sure the women have the opportunity first. Why? There are many things I can do you can't easily do as a woman. But we can get at the same footing. How? The same footing doesn't mean everyone should climb a tree. The same footing doesn't mean because I cannot give birth to a baby. But in the same way, if all of us do what we are capable of doing, if the women do what they can do with their full potential and the men do the same in a diverse economy and environment, we are including all of us and we are moving faster together. Why? Everyone is doing their best to make sure we move forward.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. And as we come to conclusion, what piece or pieces of advice would you give to someone interested in tech, someone who is already in tech but they are still worried about whether they took the right path, someone who is passionate about tech but they haven't really decided to get into tech? What advice would you give to them?
Well, for our sisters and brothers, our friends that would want to adventure in technology, the first advice I will give you is that you're too late. Yeah, so run immediately and get onto the wagon, get onto the train. Why? The children you're giving birth to or the ones you're going to give birth to now require to have tablets as part of the thing they play with at home.
Yeah,
so if you're a parent, I'm sure you've seen people asking for a tablet. I want a tab, I want this gaming machine and all that kind of stuff. It starts from there. But I'll tell you that technology is a great place, even for one who has even never been to school. You can use technology to learn and get a degree and a PhD without ever going through a formal class. Yeah? But by attending online, you can use technology like High People and build a business, because everything we know doing has been from technology from day one, and make 19 years of impacting people and lives every single day. You can use technology to become the most popular human being in the world. You can use technology to fundraise and do charitable initiatives and support so many people. I mean, so many people have run foundations and charitable organizations and they're fundraising online and they're raising millions of dollars. And for context of Ugandans and East Africans, they're raising billions of shillings by using phones, by calling people, by SMSing them, all that kind of stuff. So in a nutshell, I would urge everyone that has a phone, whether it's a feature phone, Katochi, Kabiditi, whether it's a smartphone, to make the most out of it. If you have a business and you have customers that can buy from you, endeavor to call them and also SMS them and tell them thank you, or call them when you ever have a new product. If you have a service that you're selling, market yourself. Don't just post your pictures slaying on the internet. Slay with purpose. I mean, you can look very good and slay, but tell people, guys, as you look at me, also come and support my business. In the end, we only have to make sure we make the most out of those devices. At High People, we have a slogan that we say, maximizing your digital dividend. If you can read about maximizing your digital dividend, use tools like AI, especially ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT what does maximizing your digital dividend means, and ask it so many times to explain to you the depth of what this means. When you ever do that, you learn how to make the most out of internet, and you will thank Sumaya forever.
That was so nice of you, Innocent. Let's try as much as we can to fully use our devices and actually take the most out of our time. Thank you so much for sharing your experience here.
Pleasure.
I hope the viewers enjoy it.
Yeah, they will enjoy it all the time. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Welcome.
Yeah.